April 12, 2026. After 16 years in power, Viktor Orbán, Europe's most controversial leader, just lost an election he wasn't supposed to lose. The man who built an illiberal democracy in the heart of the European Union, who blocked aid to Ukraine, who called Brussels his enemy, who became a hero to far-right movements across the West, swept out by an electoral tsunami nobody saw coming. This is the story of how Hungary became Europe's most fascinating political experiment, and what happens now that the experiment just ended. Historical deep dive. Hungary's modern story begins in tragedy. For centuries, Hungary was part of empires. Ottoman, Austrian, never independent. Brief freedom after World War I. Then World War II destroyed everything. Hungary sided with Nazi Germany, lost. In 1945, the Soviets rolled in. 45 years of communist dictatorship. But in 1956, Hungarians fought back. Students and workers took to the streets demanding freedom. For 2 weeks, they held Budapest. Then Soviet tanks crushed the rebellion. 2,500 dead. 200,000 fled. Every Hungarian leader since has invoked 1956, including Orban. 1989 brought real freedom. The Iron Curtain fell. Hungary transitioned to democracy, joined NATO in 1999. EU in 2004, then came 2010. Viktor Orbán returned to power with a 2/3 supermajority, and he used it to reshape Hungary completely. The Orbán era. Orbán didn't hide his intentions. In 2014, he declared he was building an illiberal state. He rewrote the constitution, packed courts with loyalists, took control of media, changed electoral laws to favor his party, attacked academic freedom, restricted LGBTQ rights, cracked down on NGOs. The European Parliament said in 2022 that Hungary was no longer a full democracy. They called it an elected autocracy, but Orban kept winning. 2010, 2014, 2018, 2022. 4 consecutive supermajorities. His strategy: control the narrative, blame outsiders, position himself as defender of Hungarian sovereignty against Brussels, Soros, immigration, woke ideology. It worked for 16 years. Then Ukraine. When Russia invaded in 2022, Orban refused to condemn Putin, blocked EU sanctions on Russian oil, delayed aid to Ukraine, met with Putin in Moscow in July 2024 while holding the EU presidency. He told Hungarian voters the EU wanted to drag them into war, that he alone kept them safe. The economy told a different story. Economic reality. Hungary's GDP in 2024, zero growth. 2025, 0.5%. Stagnation. Inflation peaked over 20% in 2023, highest in the EU. By 2026, dropped to 3 to 4%. But damage done. Investment collapsed, down 20% over 2 years. Why blocked EU funds? Brussels froze billions over rule of law concerns. Orban blamed Brussels, but Hungarian voters noticed every other EU country got recovery funds. Only Hungary was blocked. Unemployment stayed low at 4%, but real wages eroded by inflation. Middle class squeezed. Young people couldn't afford housing. Then the opposition appeared. The Tisza tsunami? Péter Magyar, ex-husband of a former Orban minister, an insider who turned against the system. In 2024, he founded the Tisza party. Respect and freedom. The name is a play on words. Tisza is Hungary's second longest river, and Tisza is flooding became the campaign slogan. Magyar wasn't far left. He was center-right, pro-EU, anti-corruption. He promised to unlock the blocked EU funds, restore democratic institutions, rejoin Europe as a normal member. Polls throughout 2025 showed him gaining. By early 2026, Tisza led, but nobody believed it. Orban always won. April 12, 2026 proved everyone wrong. Tisza didn't just win. They got a supermajority, 2/3 of parliament, the same supermajority Orban used to remake Hungary. Now Magyar has the power to undo it all. What happens next? The EU is celebrating. Hungary's veto on 90 billion euros for Ukraine? Gone. Constant obstruction? Over. But Magyar faces massive challenges. Orban spent 16 years embedding loyalists everywhere. Courts, media, state institutions. It won't disappear overnight. The economy needs blocked EU funds. Magyar promised to unlock them by restoring rule of law. That means reforming judiciary, fighting corruption, while keeping voters happy. And Orban isn't gone. Still in parliament, still commanding supporters who see Magyar as a Brussels puppet. Hungary just became Europe's most watched political laboratory. For 16 years, it tested illiberal democracy inside the EU. Now it tests democratic restoration. Can you undo 16 years of institutional capture? The stakes are higher than Hungary. Far-right movements across Europe held up Orban as proof their vision worked. His fall is a warning. But only if Magyar succeeds. If he fumbles, Orban comes roaring back. Hungary spent centuries under empires, 45 years under Soviet control, 16 years under Orban. Can Hungarians finally build the democracy they fought for in 1956? The world is watching.